Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot, and we are back for some player props and spreads in the NBA for Wednesday, June 2nd. Let's recap June 1st, and it was not the best start to the month. It feels like every day we have a good day like we did on Monday. We followed up with a bad day like we did on Tuesday, and that's what we call betting on in the NBA. We'll recap it, and we're going to start with the man, Deandre Ayton. And man, it just pains me. If you came to this channel, this is your first video ever watching, and you're like, man, I really want to bet on Deandre Ayton, you've come to the wrong channel. I am out. You could make his line 1.5 points. I won't do it. I hate the man. Of course, we bet his points and rebounds like a majority of other people. What does he do? Puts up like 9 points, 5 rebounds. He was terrible. And really, the Lakers were more terrible than that because LeBron, we had over 43.5 PRAs. Never stood a chance when they're down 30 points. My teaser had Nets minus 7.5. They covered. They did their job. Lakers plus 10. Didn't even stand a chance. We had a couple winners. Tristan Thompson under 10.5 rebounds. Cash it. Blake Griffin under half three-pointers. Just bet on him to not shoot one or make one. Yeah, he didn't even shoot into three. So we cashed that one. So we had some winners, but it was a rough day, and that's what it's been like in the NBA. So reduce your unit size. No need to force a bunch of bets. You'll see I only go down to 5 bets today because there's no reason to force anything. We made a lot of money during the regular season, so no reason to throw it all away in the postseason. But subscribe if you're new. We come back every single day for some more NBA player props and spreads, as well as Logan. He's running the MLB portion of the channel, been doing very well on the year. Subscribe. Like I said, over 5,700 subscribers, road to 6,000. And we really appreciate all of our COS All-Stars. Put them on the screen. Newest ones, Alex, Keith, and Sony. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for becoming part of the community. Logan and I both appreciate you. Like I said, it's been a rough couple weeks betting in the NBA, and that's just how it is. So I can't stress enough. Do your research. Don't force any bets. And you'll see, well, we're only going to reduce it to 5 bets today. We're moving on to today's slate of games. Today might be the last day that we have 4 NBA games on in one day. We're starting with the 76ers versus the Wizards, the Hawks, Knicks, Grizzlies, Jazz, and finally the Clippers, Mavericks. 3 of these series could be ending today. So we will see. And we're going to start with the Wizards versus 76ers. Where are we starting? We're starting with Russell Westbrook over 11.5 assists, minus 135 on BetMGM. And you can take it at 12.5 at plus value. I don't mind it there. But Westbrook, he hasn't necessarily played really all too great in this series. He did have a good game 4 when the Wizards did get the win, although Embiid was out, so what can you do about that? But he didn't shoot particularly well, but he has been assisting pretty well in this series. You look at it, game 1, he racked up 14 assists. Game 2, he missed on the hook. He only had 11, but that was the game that he got injured. It was a blowout, and they lost, I don't know, by 20-something points, but he still had 11, and he still would have hit this if he was active and not injured for the whole fourth quarter in that game. Game 3, you look at it, only 10 assists. What can you do about that? And then game 4 on Monday, on Monday he had 14 assists, so he's played pretty well. He's hit the over in the games that have been close, and I think this game will be close with Joel Embiid unlikely to play. So the Wizards do stand a chance at getting a win here today. You don't get the best value at 11.5 at minus 135 on MGM, but I think obviously I like it more at 11.5 than 12.5. That's for good reason. I do think he hits both today, locking it in. Russell Westbrook over 11.5 assists. He's going to play a lot of minutes, so I'm going to count on it. Moving on to another guy that plays sometimes a lot of minutes, sometimes not a lot. Moving on to Knicks, Hawks, and we're taking Reggie Bullock, under 2.5 threes. Yes, my New York Knicks, yeah, I think they might go home today. I don't know. The spread is really funky on this one. Knicks are favored by 1.5 points, but we're taking Bullock under 2.5 threes, minus 128 on FanDuel. And I'm sorry, Reggie, but we're taking your under here. On FanDuel, you get great value for it. You see it minus 160 elsewhere. So you might even have a line at 1.5. But if you get at 2.5, I take the under, no doubt about it. He's only hit this in 1 of the 4 games in the series. The one game was when he went off. I think he had 4 threes. He scored 0 points in game 4, so he obviously didn't hit it then. And he's a good Alec Burks or Quickly or even like a great RJ Barrett game from not really even seeing that many minutes, because that's just how the Knicks and Tom Thibodeau run it. He's not a bad shooter. He's a good shooter. He shoots about 40% from the three-point line, but I don't know if this is an actual stat, but I'm sure Bullock shoots about 45% on catch and shoot. If he catches it, shoots it, the moment he puts it on the ground, he's probably cuts that in half to like 20-25%. He just isn't a good off-the-dribble shooter, and that's what the Hawks have been making him do, running him off the three-point line, making him take mid-ranges or contested threes. I don't think he gets it tonight. We've used Pinnacle. If you haven't checked out Pinnacle, it's a European sportsbook, arguably it's the sharpest sportsbook in the in the world. So use that. You can use the OddsJam link in the description below. OddsJam, a really good website, so go check them out. Plus, they're partnering with us, so go check the link out in the description. You can see how Pinnacle's odds, and they're the sharpest book out there. So they have this odds set at -167. You're telling me I can get it at minus 128. I'll take it in a heartbeat. That's just good analytics play. And that's what we're taking. I'm loving the value, and I'm taking it with confidence. Reggie Bullock, get out of here. Under 2.5 threes. Moving on to Mike Conley. Sure, he hurt us. He hurt us Monday. He hurt us like a lot of other players. Really didn't look like his true self, but we're taking his over 7.5 assists, minus 135. Not great value again, but I'm trying to get winners here, and I'll take any winners that we can get. You look at Game 4, he only managed 7 assists to not get a single assist in the fourth quarter, which is pretty unlikely. You look at Game 3, he had 8 assists. Game 2, 15, and Game 1, 11 assists. He's played very well at home recently, and I think this is a closeout game, and I think they get the job done. He's going to play a lot of minutes, like 33 to 35 minutes tonight. Should be another fast-paced game, and that bodes well for his assists. I think he gets it done. Mike Conley over 7.5 assists versus the Memphis Grizzlies. I think he gets it done tonight at home as the Jazz try to finish off the Memphis Grizzlies. Moving on to my final player prop of the day. And where are we going? We're going an ex-New York Knicks, Kristaps Porzingis. I'm taking his under 6.5 rebounds, minus 120. And here's why. If you're going to fade me, and you can fade me for all you care, I really don't care that much. If you're going to fade me, here's the one to do it, because I guarantee you this is an over. But I'm taking the under, and this is why. Kristaps hasn't been close to this line in this series. And I've actually wanted to bet it in games 3 and 4 and decided, nah, I'm not going to do it. So I almost guarantee when I actually do bet it, he goes over. I mean, you look at the series alone, he's at 5, 3, 4 rebounds in each game. He hasn't even gotten near that 7 that he needs. Going back to the regular season, he had, in his last couple games of the regular season, he had 4, then he had 10, then he had 5, then he had 1, then he had 6. So he's only cashed this in 1 of the 9 games in terms of hitting the over. But given the value and the recent production, I just don't think he can get it. I mean, the Clippers have found something in going small. I don't think Serge Ibaka plays today. Zubac, if they put him in there, Luka just sees him and just goes straight at him. So they've just been playing Batum at basically the 5. Granted, it's more like Kawhi and all of those guys at the 5, or maybe Marcus Morris. But they've been making Kristaps go out on the perimeter, and he's not going to get a lot of rebounds out there, and he's not that aggressive on the offensive glass. You take all that together, either route is good for me. If he wants to guard Nick Batum on the perimeter where he just stands there and chucks up threes, fine with me. If he wants to guard Marcus Morris out there, sure. But they've been going really small, and that's how the Clippers have found success against this Mavericks team. I think they do that again today. Ty Lue is not going to make any changes after they've won the last 2 games. And so I think Kristaps Porzingis under 6.5 rebounds. I'm taking it. Good value, minus 120. I'm taking it with confidence. If you want to bet on Luka's PRA, again, it's like 45.5. Wouldn't mind that. Paul George, he should have a pretty good game tonight. Tim Hardaway Jr., we'll see about him. But moving on, last play of the game is my only spread, because I do not like betting spreads and too many over-unders, because they are dialed in. They'll get this down to the point. If you look at the over-unders, they're basically really close. You probably bet a teaser and do pretty well, but teasers have been wrong to us lately. So we're taking Clippers, minus 6.5 versus the Dallas Mavericks. This is going to be a popular play, and I'm sure Clippers probably lose this game, because that's just how it is in the NBA. But Vegas and the sportsbooks are giving the LA Clippers a lot of respect at home, 6.5-point favorites. We've seen 7 as well, where they lost game 1 and 2. The road team has won each game in the series, so it wouldn't surprise me if the Mavericks won today, but I think the Clippers come out and get another win at home, and ultimately I think this series does go 7 games. Clippers have basically took away the 3-point line from the Mavs. You saw the Mavs shoot lights out in games 1, 2, and 3, where the Clippers still won by 10 points. Game 4, they said, nope. And you saw the Mavs go crashing. They're a bad shooting night away from getting blown out by 20-plus points. And I think that could be the case in Game 5. You look at the Clippers, they're good. They should continue their winning ways. Kawhi and PG, Mavs have no answer for them defensively. And I just think they'll close this one out and get the win at home and send it back to Dallas, where they try to close out the series. Either way, I'm locking in the Clippers, minus 6.5 versus the Mavericks. I think they're the better team in this series, and I think they will get the win tonight. Once you take away that 3-point line for the Mavericks, they don't really know what to do. If they don't make their shots, they're obviously not going to win. But you could say that about any team in the NBA. My over-under leans, I consider the Knicks under, Mavs under, and the Jazz Grizzlies over, but I won't make those any official plays. They're so dialed in on over-unders, it's not really worth it in my eyes. A recap of all of our plays: 5 plays. Westbrook over 11.5 assists. Reggie Bullock under 2.5 threes. Mike Conley over 7.5 assists. Kristaps Porzingis under 6.5 rebounds. And the final play, Clippers minus 6.5. Let me know your favorite bet down below in the description or in the comments. I really want to see what you guys are betting on today. If you haven't checked out Logan's video, for sure, go show him some love. Click the like button on his video. Even click the like button on mine if you really want to. Really appreciate all your guys' support. Win or lose, we really appreciate you guys coming out and checking out our videos every single day. We'll be back again for some more player props and spreads in the NBA for Thursday. This has been Austin. I will catch you guys again tomorrow for some more picks. And let's make some money tonight. We're making it. I'm speaking it into existence. We're making some money tonight. At least 3-2 at the worst. This has been Austin. I will catch you guys again tomorrow. Peace.